Hey YouTube comic community, this is Jimmy the Geek Aficionado, and I have a special edition treasure hunt video for you today. This last weekend in Chicago was kicking off the convention season with C2E2, and just like everybody else that was able to attend the show, I picked up some choice little goodies. But before we get into that, I do want to throw a shout out to all of the great YouTubers that I had the pleasure of hanging out with and meeting at the show. Comic Man Andy, Bear Island Comics, Dee Runk Comics, Comic Head 84, Comics NYC, Comic Books NYC, yeah, Kavi, Don Dada, Los, Chad RCG. There was a lot of us that were there. Got some good pictures that I'll throw up here in the video as well. Just a really great time with everybody hanging out in the yard, looking for comics, hunting stuff down, getting a meal. It was truly probably the best con that I've gone to, and it was because I got to spend the time with those guys at the show and with some other friends as well. So love to do it again. Hopefully, I'll see you guys at another show soon, or this one next year. But let's move on to some books. First up, so Friday I spent most of the day looking through, or rather, getting signatures for books to get submitted and getting my CGC on-site grading submissions dropped off. But come Saturday, I was able to swing by the Unknown Comics booth and pick up some variants there that I was looking forward to. Starting off with this one here. This is let's get that adjusted right. This is giant-sized X-Men Jean Grey and Emma Frost. This is I cannot recall the name of the artist. Actually, look, he's got his little signature down there, and the Milers are obviously tripping that up. Yeah, I gotta be honest, I can't pronounce the name, so I'm not even gonna try. But I'll post the name of the artist in the bottom. So this is the what I call the nice variant, and then we got this one here, which I would consider to be the naughty variant. This is the White Queen and Black Queen outfits from the Dark Phoenix saga. Just incredible art, really great tone and definition all the way around. And leading on that same note is this gorgeous cover of X-Men #7 by Mark Brooks, featuring my favorite Jean Grey as the Black Queen. So just truly fantastic art, and there was obviously a lot of that there at the show. Specifically, if we go to the Scorpion Comics booth, if you were there, there was a relatively new artist named Carla Cohen, and she did this cover of Vampirella that is just absolutely stunning, a la Lucio Perillo, and I had her do the red signature on the book. Show that there. It's just a really fantastic cover. The art was amazing. I couldn't pass it up, and this was, and I am just not getting the glare right. Good old Mylars, right? Just a fantastic book. Was going to have it slab, but this was the last copy that they had, and it had some defects that I knew we were going to need a press, and it was just too high a cost to get it there. But it was a beautiful book that I'm going to really enjoy, and I might have DGC later on. Getting into some of the older stuff, I did find some nice pickups, things that I've been looking for a long time. This is the Macross #1. This is the first U.S. Edition of the Robotech saga in comic books, offered by Comico. And it's been a hard book for me to find in a nice high grade. This one's got a couple of spine ticks on it, but it's otherwise, I'd say, definitely near mint, 9.4. Not planning on having it graded, but loving to have it. My Marvel Chillers run featuring Tigra, rounding that out here with issue number 7. It is just absolutely beautiful. It's no Mylar magic there. It's a great copy. I'm missing one more now, and it's the one previous to this, issue number 6. And while they had that one there, I was also able to get a nicer copy of issue number 3, which is the first appearance of Tigra. For those of you who aren't familiar with the character Tigra or her origins, there was a series called The Cat from Marvel Comics, and in giant-sized Marvel Chillers, something happens, and I forget what it actually was. She gets transformed into Tigra, the Werewoman, and then from that point on, she's just Tigra and joins the Avengers later on, and the West Coast Avengers, and has been around for quite some time. But this is just a super clean copy of issue number 3. So this one I might actually send out for grading, while the other one will continue to be my reader copy. Found some Adam Hughes, just craziness here. This is Catwoman issue number 72. This is the last issue that I needed for the series. There's an Adam Hughes variant to issue number 75 that I don't have, but I do have the full series now for Catwoman Volume 3, including all of the great Adam Hughes covers. And this one had been waiting, I've been trying to get for some time. And obviously, the Adam Hughes Zatanna covers are always in high demand, but I got a good price on it, and I was happy to pay it and be able to finally have that. As well as this convention edition of Adam Hughes' Baroness on G.I. Joe, issue number 252. It's fantastic. His work is insane good, and this one is definitely a 9/8 candidate, so it's going to go out and get slabbed. Just debating on whether or not I have it signed or not. Alrighty, what else do we have? So this next book I had bought from Dale Stevens, and I wasn't real happy with the book and the price. I paid about I want to say I paid $150 for it, and I wasn't happy with that. And then I was at another booth and I found another copy, and this is Avengers number 71. This is the first appearance of the Invaders in Marvel Comics, as well as the issue where the Black Knight joins the Avengers. And we've got a couple of color breaks, around here, which would probably put it around an 8 or a 9, probably an 8, I would assume at best. But otherwise, just an absolutely beautiful book. I was able to get this one. It was listed at 80. I got it for 70. And then I was able to take the other one back to Dale. Dale Roberts. That's what it was. Dale Roberts Comics. And he was able to give me a really good deal and allow me to trade that book in as a credit to get this guy off the 2021 list. So super duper happy getting this book finally, this classic Neil Adams. I planned on having it pressed overnight, but had to use the press for other reasons, and then bring it back Sunday and have Neil Adams sign it and then send it out for grading. But we'll just have to wait till the next show and have Neil take care of that. But just really happy with getting this book. I love this cover. It's just fantastic. We got a color break in here, so this is probably about an 8 tops, I would assume. But gorgeous book. All right, last day of the show, and I'm heading over to CGC to pick up my on-site grading order. And I buzz by a booth, and I see this book sitting there, and I give it a look, and I'm checking it out because it's 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 a 9.6, and I want to make sure that, hey, can I upgrade this book and make it a 9.8? And sure enough, I can, because it just has a little thumb bend at the top edge of the page of the front cover, and it's going to look oh so nice once I turn it into a 9.8. And then I get to take another one off of my 2020 hunt list. So this is just a super nice copy of NYX number 3, the first appearance of Laura Kinney, X-23. I had the whole series a long time ago and sold it when it got really high, because I was trying to move all a whole list of catalog that I just didn't want anymore, and wanted to be able to move all of it. Right, I didn't want to be stuck with 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, especially since this was the big book. So I just sold them all as a group before I left Las Vegas, and then come to want it back in my collection. So now I've got issue number 3. Issue number 4 I still need to pick up. That one's still on my list, because it's the first cover appearance of X-23, and we'll hopefully be getting at that soon. But point about this book that I want to really say is that I got this book for well under fair market value, and about $130 less than the marked price, because it was Sunday, and I asked him, and I made the guy an offer, and he made a counter offer, and we're talking cash. So just know that when you're at a show and you've been eyeing something through the whole show and you want to get a better price on it, it is entirely possible, especially on Sunday. The less that they have, especially if they haven't made their booth rent, maybe they haven't earned enough to make the show worthwhile or whatever, they'll be willing to let something go a little bit less than they got it listed for, especially if they're making profit on it. So just keep that in mind anytime you go to a show. All right, last things that we're going to talk about in this video. I did some on-site grading this weekend at C2E2 with CGC, and very happy with the results of what I got and what I brought back. A couple of classics. We've got Silver Surfer number 4, classic John Buscema cover, 6.0. I was really curious as to where this was going to end up landing. I got it for a good price. There's a tear about an inch long right here on the corner. I didn't know if they were going to treat that as a spine split or a tear, but it's a good grade, matched up with, like, we got a little color loss and a number of color breaking creases to the cover, right over in here, some over in here, some other spots on the book. But I'm very happy with this grade, and really pleased to have this in my collection, because it's just such a great book. Now, I've had this next book in my collection for a very long time, and I've graded a lot of things, and I hadn't gotten to this one yet. Just hadn't gotten around to getting it cleaned and pressed and making sure that it was ready to go in the collection to be added into a slab. But I finally did pull the trigger on it, and now I've got all my big X-Men keys graded out. This is a 7.5. I had hoped for a higher grade, knew that I was unlikely to get it. There's a couple of tears in the back. There's a couple of little color breaks. There's a slight corner tear down here in the bottom, but it's got some yellowing to it. There's a little bit of fade in the reds. Otherwise, I mean, it's an incredibly presentable book, and it's one I've had for a very long time. This was a thank you gift for me helping out a store back in the late 90s, get remodeled, a comic book store, helping them get remodeled and get their business configured, in a way that they'd be able to, be more inviting, more organized, clean aesthetics, and this was the payoff for all the work that I put into that, and I'm incredibly happy with it, and it's a wonderful thank you gift, and I will always cherish it and always have it in my collection, and now I'll be able to display it properly. Well, that's all, people. Gonna wrap this video up and say thank you everybody for watching, and maybe you reach out to me, and maybe we'll hook up together at a con sometime. Talk to you soon.